Hey Photo-G community, it's Matt Reed here from Perth Product Photography down in sunny Perth in Western Australia, and I'm an instructor here on Photo-G and super excited to be involved. And there's two reasons for this video. One's just to flat out say hi, and the second is to actually share some information that hopefully will make every photo you take from this point on better and actually make you more efficient. And so first of all, the big hello. I've been kind of loitering around the community for many years. I've been photographer pretty solid and hardcore for the last 10 years. And just kind of like you, I'm into it, I love it, the learning never ends. And I think that's one of the important things. I feel like every year that goes past, I've learnt and grown just as much or more than the year before. And so it just kind of keeps going, and I reckon that's pretty awesome in a hobby or in a career if that's where you are. And I think a lot of that is to do with surrounding yourself with kind of inspiration and mentors and kind of education and help. And that's one of the beautiful things about Photo-G is there's just a ton of kind of, you just got a ton of support. And there's no kind of shortage of help and instruction to supercharge your photography. And so I'm really grateful to be involved. And I also am super grateful. You might have your kind of moments in your life, whatever it is, where someone kind of teaches you something that's kind of changes your life. Like, it's a big deal. I remember resizing images in Photoshop, and I did like thousands of them, and it was literally the same thing, did it to every image. And like one day someone taught me actions, and like that was, that changed my life. So I really am grateful about that. And so kind of one of the things that make me feel good about this opportunity is the opportunity to be able to impart some information and the things that kind of help me out in the photography life back to you guys. And so yeah, thank you. And so the second thing is something that kind of, like, there's two ways of learning, I think. Or two types of learning. There's technique. There's like, do this with the light and this effect will happen. Do this with your camera and this will, techniques. So it's basically learning techniques, and they're invaluable. Photo-G's covered with them. So there's no shortage of techniques to learn, and you need to do that. And then the other type of learning is more just way of thinking or way of working or way of looking, the things that kind of just filter over every photo you take from this point on. And so the thing that I'm going to share with you now is more in the latter, that type of a workflow or way of thinking type tip. And really, it's almost sounds like common sense, but it took me kind of a few years to work this out. And it's approach every photo in 2 steps. And so the first step is literally just, I call it finding the photo, like literally find the photo, which you could call it composition. There's all sorts of technical terms, but it's literally like the camera and the lens in a position and the product, so it all actually looks good. The photo is strong, which is very separate to lighting and making it look technically perfect. So it's really easy to try and tackle both of those steps at the same time, where your product's on the table, you get the camera, the lighting looks crappy, and so you start perfecting the lights and setting up boxes and moving diffusers, but the shot isn't really established yet. So what you end up doing is polishing the light on not a strong photo, and so then you get to that point where it's like, the light looks good, but it's not awesome. And so then you move the camera or move the products or change lens up, and then of course you've changed that, so then the lighting needs to change. So then you tweak the lighting and you move the bits and pieces and you set up another thing, and then you take the shot, and then again you might have a really nicely lit product shot that's just kind of not a strong photo, not a strong composition, and you keep just kind of following this process until you get the photo right and the lighting right. And so what we do here, particularly in the studio, but any photo, like could be a portrait of someone out on location, exactly the same thing, right? It's step 1, find the photo. And so kind of turn your mind and judgment off to the light. Like, it just doesn't matter about the light at this point, deal with that later. And then you can actually just explore like the different angles, the different lenses, the different products, just kind of working out the shot. And you'll find you'll get to a really strong photo quicker when you're not worried about how it looks from a lighting point of view. And then when you've got the building blocks in place and everything looks strong, then for one time you can come and like craft the lighting and get everything in the perfect spot. So really like kind of 2 steps, literally the same with a portrait. We would like find a nice background, find where the person's going to go, like set up the composition, and then once that's in place, then light for that photo. And we just find it's a nice way of working. Not to say that 100 failed attempts isn't good, because time on the tools is all good, and so practice is everything. But when you're really wanting to start to, I guess, get productive and get some flow, particularly if you've got a client with you, then it's a really nice way of working. Step 1, find the photo. Step 2, then light it so it looks awesome. Hope that helps. We're online, so hook us up, and if you've got any comments or thoughts or ideas, like feel free to jot it in the comments. We're around and here and happy, and look forward to jamming with you. Cheers.